Okay.
I read that you were also involved in a amateur boxing match. Why would the CEO of Bacon?
found that.
Why would the CEO of Bacon go into a boxing ring, rather than work your CEO job?
But it's different when someone's punching you in the face, right?
Yeah, you take it personally.
Yeah. Sometimes, you get in there as an entrepreneur, and a lot of people are going to be telling you you're crazy and you shouldn't be doing it, and you're not going to be successful. But guess what? There's some pride in getting in there and giving it your best.
Knowing you, they probably gave you 5-star.
I
If they're
hope
giving
so.
you a job, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious now. So you guys are mostly giving jobs in, Idaho, Utah, Dallas, Fort Worth. What are some of your guys' plans for growth from here on
We
out?
actually have recently, like I said, we've hired a lot of new people recently, and that's primarily on expansion and sales.
Mm-hmm.
So we've opened in Chicago.
My hometown.
That's your hometown?
That's right.
That's right. Okay, so Chicago, Detroit, Virginia Beach, Las Vegas. We are hiring some new reps in Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where we've been. We've been looking at South Carolina a little bit, kind of looking at that area. I've been looking at North Carolina as well, and just we've got an individual out in Wisconsin that started an area for us at the end of last year, and then one of our clients from Boise actually asked us to go out to Indiana. That's where their headquarters is, and they had dozens of locations there that they needed help with, and so we sent one of our existing team members out there to help them. So lots of growth this year, which we're hoping results in helping more and more people find work and more companies find great people.
What process did you go through to determine, this next location?
We started with 8 criteria for what it makes for a good market, and some of those things are just market conditions, some of those things are, at the time, COVID restrictions, some of those things were competitors, and are those competitors in those markets. And then obviously we want to make sure there is a market there and that there are workers there, and so we look for things like, is there a university nearby to this market that we can recruit some college students from, because that's one of the base of workers that we have. What's the residential area look like? So you've got to have both workers, and you got to have clients there too. So we went through that criteria, and one of the things that stood out to us is one of our key advisors was a executive at Uber, and he said that one of the approaches they took was to ensure that they were in any market where Lyft was, right? And the reason for that is just to compete. They just wanted to compete side by side, so that there wasn't any market where their competitor was kind of free, open range. And we've taken that approach a little bit too. We have picked some markets where we have no competitors, and then we've picked some markets where we are intentionally going into the backyard of some of our competitors, and we want to show that we know how to do what we know how to do.
So when you're trying to compete with some of these big Goliaths out there,
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about trying to fight with these large guys when they have huge deep pockets?
But similar types of competitors exist out there that have been in the market a little longer than we have and have a little bit more investment than we have. And we compete on a few different things. There are some core fundamentals to the way that we do our platform that is different from theirs. For example, selection is a very important thing to our platform. On some of the other platforms, it's more of a first come, first serve. So you see a shift and you take the shift and it's yours automatically. We think that it's important for employers or for companies to be able to kind of have some degree of choice of who they want to have come work. The reason why that's important is because these individuals are also getting reviews, and what that means is people who perform well will continue to be picked, and those who aren't performing as well might have a harder time being picked, right? And that's how we maintain and reward people who are willing to get out there and hustle and shine, as we like to say. So that's important to us, and that's a key differentiation in terms of like the fundamentals of our platform. But on top of that, so one big difference from a traditional temp agency and from any of our competitors is we don't have something that's called a buyout fee. So if you're a company, you find a worker, you really like that worker, a traditional temp agency, a staffing agency, is going to either make you pay something like 20 to 30% of their annual salary to hire them, or have them work for a duration of time before you can hire them, okay? We don't have that. We don't have that. So if you're a company and you see someone you like, all they have to do is work one shift so you can see that you like them, and then you can make them an offer. Because for us, we don't want to stand in the way of someone having a better opportunity. And we found that most companies really resonate with that, and they really like to find great people through our platform, kind of be able to try them before they buy them, if you will, or bring them on.
Yeah. Whereas you connect these two parties together, and then you, in essence, if they like each other, you let them get married if they want.
That's exactly right. And honestly, Spencer, that's one of the more recent updates that we've made to who we are and the mission of the company. You know, we're all about connecting individuals to successful opportunities, and there's multiple parts of that. There's the individual part, people. Like, we're all about, we want these people to find great opportunities. We want companies to find great people, right? The successful part is super important as well. We don't just want to connect you guys and say, oh, good luck, right? Mm-hmm. Best of luck with you. We want it to be a successful opportunity. And so we have to be able to learn a little bit about the workers and what they're looking for, a little bit about what the companies are looking for, and make sure there's a good fit, right? And then the connection part is the part that has become a little bit of a new thing for us. Initially, we just kind of opened the marketplace. Hey,
come on in, everybody.
Yeah, it's like start a party and then just let people kind of mix and mingle. Mm-hmm. And we've gone to the next step where we know who's coming to the party, and we know who's come. You know, the two individuals coming to the party, and we say, hey, you might be good for this one. I'm going to put you guys together. I'm going to sit you guys down at the same table. So now we are more actively getting engaged in that connection part, so that we can have success between the two.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure as you continue to grow your connections, and as you mentioned, moving into different markets, are you guys looking to add more people to your team? Are you looking to hire some more people?
Yeah, I mean, we have already done some of that initial hiring with the expansion on the sales team. There are additional individuals we're looking for. We're looking for some individuals on the marketing side. We're looking for some individuals that are on the client and worker success side. We have this new position that we're doing that we're calling a shift ambassador. So the ambassador part is that we want them to be able to kind of represent our brand, who we are, our culture, and what we stand for, right? So they would be participating in things like promotional activities, going out and doing recruiting events, putting out, flyers and posters and all that type of stuff to help us when we enter into a new area. These individuals would be part of that. And we want the right kind of person for that, right? The shift part is when they're not doing that work for us, we want them out there working shifts. We want them working side by side with other workers and having that impact and that influence on people. We want them making a positive impact on our companies, right? Making a good impression to our companies. And we want to be able to have someone that we can say, hey, this company really needs some help. We know you're reliable. Can you go over and work that shift? So it's a blend of working shifts and doing some promotional stuff for us and our company.
So now, speaking of impact, this is my last question I want to ask you.
Okay.
I read that you were also involved in an amateur boxing match. Why would the CEO of Bacon?
You found that.
Why would the CEO of Bacon go into a boxing ring, rather than work your CEO job?
This is a long time ago, actually. So it's much before the boxing days. I've actually always been into boxing. Something that kind of me and my dad have bonded on is this sport. And it was always just kind of hitting a bag, in his garage and at home. And I was in the military for a period of time, so I did a little bit of, boxing training in the military. And it's just a sport that I love. And the reason why I love that sport is because it's a man versus man type of sport, but it's also a man versus himself, right? Like man versus man at ping pong, that's great, right?
I love ping pong.
There's strategy. It does take a lot of effort, but it's different when someone's punching you in the face, right?
Yeah, you take it personally.
Yeah. And so there's this idea of, can I mentally keep myself from losing my cool? Can I mentally stay focused under high degree of pressure? Can I overcome pain? Can I stay strategic when I'm also having to be defensive, right? And I love that sort of brain challenge, that individual challenge. And of course, you're going man to man with someone else, and there's no one else in the ring to back you up. It's what you have done. So the amount of preparation and training and fitness that you've done is what factors in, and there's nothing else that's gonna, save you. So
Wow.
you got to make it work. So that's the thing I love about it. The other thing I love about it is, so it's like they always say, the sweet science of boxing, and there is sort of a science to it, and also a very heavy physical aspect to it. There's also some really great history and heritage to the sport, and great stories of underdogs winning, and I always love those underdog stories.
That's awesome, and I like how you turn your experience in boxing into like helping you in business and to be defensive, to be strategic.
It's certainly part of who I am. I care about that. I care about winning, like the underdog winning. I care about fighting for something that matters. I don't think that people should quickly back down from a fight, and there's a worthy competitor, and there's something worthy in just competing alone, right? Just stepping into a ring with someone is a noteworthy thing, and I feel the same way about business sometimes. You get in there as an entrepreneur, and a lot of people are going to be telling you you're crazy and you shouldn't be doing it, and you're not going to be successful. But guess what? There's some pride in getting in there and giving it your best.
Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me
It's a real pleasure.
Today. It was great, chatting with you and learning more about, bacon and mostly your background as well. I appreciate it.
The one other thing that I thought you might ask me about is, you mentioned you have some Filipino heritage, and I have some Filipino heritage as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, my dad's from the Philippines, his ancestry. So anyway, with that, salamat for your time.
You know more Tagalog than I do. Thanks again, guys, for tuning into this episode. Make sure to check out the Bacon app in the App Store and try one of these chefs. You can definitely do more cool stuff with the Bacon app. So thanks again, guys, for tuning into this episode here at Silicon Slopes, and catch you all next time.